by soaking half a cup of brown rice and half a cup of white lentils. The white lentils in question are urad dal, or urad dal, U-R-A-D-D-A-L, depending upon which sources you look at, in water. Firstly, once they've been soaking for at least 6 hours, I'm then going to shove them into the blender, drain them, shove them into the blender, then blend them up with just a little bit of water to help them to blend, and then I'm going to make a flatbread out of them. The reason to use urad dal or urad dal is because it's probably the best type of lentil for making a variety of lentil bread. I tried it with red lentils, that was okay, but it didn't always cook through properly, didn't seem to soak up well, didn't provide the sort of soft texture I was looking for, but urad dal and various different types of bread seems to be okay. I've even been able to make a loaf with urad dal using a different recipe that was more complex, but it worked out okay even though it was a bit doughy. I think I needed to probably whisk the batter prior to putting it into the baking tin in order to get it lighter and more aerated, but on the other hand it is a loaf and I can slice it and I can cook it on a griddle pan like a variety of lentil steak. Okay everybody, do remember if you use a different type of lentil or a different type of rice, you're going to get a different type of result. So I personally wouldn't recommend, let's say, a long grain white rice or a bleached rice, because that really won't work well for you. It'll be far too glutinous, the texture won't be quite right. Get a long grain brown rice, and the urad dal lentil is by experience the one which is closest to a wheat flour in terms of flavour when you're cooking it in this one particular way. So you get a very, very good result in terms of mouthfeel, flavour, and also urad dal is very nutritious. It's got potassium, it's got magnesium, a wide variety of other micronutrients, as well as of course being reasonably dense in protein, so it can actually contribute to your protein scores at the end of the day if you're on a health and fitness routine. Another great thing to do with this one particular bread is once it's cooked, okay, if you've made a round one, let's say, you can cover it with your own pizza topping made with sliced mushrooms, sliced tomatoes. You can add a herb and garlic tomato puree sauce to go with it, spiced up with your own form of vegetable stock, and then you can put, let's say, melted cheese on top, and the end result can be fantastic. Wait till it's cooked, put your topping on, shove it back in under the grill, get everything melted, everything cooked, and then serve it up. It's a very cost-effective way of feeding yourself in a nutritious, healthy way, and it's also good for your family as well. Something to think about. Oh, and one other thing. People who cook at home tend to have better waistlines. Time is over. Now we can have a quick look and see how much batter has been made as a result of the urad dal swelling up, the rice swelling up. Once I've put everything through the blender, and we'll see how much in the terms of flatbreads we can make. One quick tip here, it's always a good idea to put this on greaseproof paper, which you Americans call parchment paper, because that'll stop it from sticking, and it means you can get the bread up with much greater ease. And we'll see what's happening. I'll get the oven preheated and I'll start making the bread. Okay, that's the batter so far. So we've got a couple of cups worth in there. And I've just got a couple of little dish trays. I'll just quickly show them to you. Let's put that down. There we go. We've got that one there. We've got that one there. That's my hand against it so you can see roughly what size it is. It's about that far across. Just pour the batter in. Hope for the best. If there's anything left over, then maybe I can shove it into say another tray I've got myself recently, so I can pour some into here. Hope I can get myself some little bread which I can nibble on at random at some point in the future. So here we go. Alright, let's put that aside and let's get ready. So I've got 2 mini pizza breads there and a couple of little cupcakey things going. So all told, the nutritional breakdown of this bread containing a half cup of brown rice, a half cup of urad dal, a half tablespoon of baking powder and 1 tablespoon of olive oil works out with a calorific value of 347 kilocalories. Okay, which is very, very, well, reasonably energy dense. If you're to split that up between 2 portions for 2 people, obviously divide that by 2. Think about it. You've got 17.8% of your RDA of vitamin B1. You've got B2 of 4.9%, you've got B3 at 11.7%, B5 10%, B6 16.1%. So it's actually reasonably good on your B vitamins in general, but no B12. So obviously if you can't just live off this, you need to have something else to give you your B12. Carbohydrates 44.76 grams, which is a reasonable carb quantity. If we go down to protein, the whole bread will give you 11.19 grams worth of the protein that you can add to your diet. So if you're trying to make, let's say, 40 or 50 grams of protein in a day, you can have that bread, and then essentially you're talking about nearly a quarter of the way there just upon the bread alone. If you're adding to that something else like tuna, if you're adding something else to that such as beef burgers or anything else you want to make at home, then essentially that would increase the quantity. If you want to have what they call broad beans, that would help even more as well in another way. So you could use this as part of a cohesive way of building up your protein intake if you're doing a muscle development program. Okay, what else you got as far as your micronutrients? Very little vitamin C. You've only got about 2.5% of your RDA of vitamin C, but of course you probably need an awful lot more than what you get from food anyway, so think about supplementing vitamin C, definitely. No vitamin D, not very good. The vitamin E levels is about 10.2%, so you're getting some vitamin E, just again from the bread. We're not talking about adding like a salad to this or anything else, we're just talking about just the plain bread, and 12.3% of your vitamin K. Right, when we're looking at the minerals, which is a different kettle of fish altogether. What's coming out like most? Calcium, 43.4%. So if you're concerned about calcium deficiency, calcium is used with muscle metabolism as well. So calcium is actually quite important. So it's quite good in that particular respect. You've got yourself 16.4% of your copper levels, which is good. Iron, 25.8. I mean, this is actually quite nutritious food, really. 20% of your magnesium levels. Magnesium is a very difficult mineral for your body to get your hands on, so actually having 20%. This is based upon, I would say, a relatively low estimation of RDA for magnesium, I would admit. But on the other hand, you're getting some. Manganese, you're getting some of that. 78% of your daily RDA of manganese, not magnesium. I'm getting the two confused. Okay, phosphorus 40%, brilliant. Potassium 12.7%. Sodium, there's a very high sodium food. You've got 30% of your RDA of sodium. So if you're on a low sodium diet, maybe this is something you might want to miss out. Or alternatively, have this and just don't have salt and anything, and have plenty of other things which are very low sodium. And one of the things which is really important for me personally is zinc, which is important for your skin. You've got 12.4% of your RDA. So there is some good stuff there, provided, of course, you can metabolize it. If you want to take digestive enzymes as well to go along with the regime, then that would, with your personal regime, that would be a good thing to do. Alright, we're getting some zinc there. You may need to have some more, so something like 1.86 milligram, but it's there, it's present. So this is just a bread. But it's just a bread which has got an awful lot of power to it by comparison with the rubbish that you buy from the supermarket wrapped up in plastic that costs you too much money and isn't actually very nutritious. The recipe again: half cup urad dal, soaked. Half cup rice, soaked. Okay, you want to go for 8 hours, maybe 6 or 8 hours worth of soaking time minimum. Then you got 1 tablespoon of olive oil, you got half a tablespoon of baking powder, and that is it. You can vary the ingredients. Instead of adding that isn't it. No, of course, I've added some water to help it blend, so I could end up with a consistency of like a thick milkshake in the blender drug itself. Okay, the blender I'm using is called an SKT, which is not bad. It's about 1/6 the price of a Vitamix. The motors last between 3 and 5 years, but on the other hand, even if I asked to replace that every 1.5 years, it would still cost me less per usage than buying a Vitamix, and it's still 38,000 revolutions per minute, so I don't care. Okay, so all of you Vitamix worshippers out there, there's cheaper, better solutions. Seriously. I really am still upset by the way people carry on like worshipping the Vitamix as if it's like something really rather special and important when basically it isn't. Alright, so that's how you make the bread. And I've got it in the oven, 200 degrees Celsius, because I'm in the UK, we have European measurements, so I'm dealing in Celsius. Sorry about that, my battery just died on me. As I said, we got it on 200 degrees Celsius in the oven right now, and we're going to see what's going to come out. I'm leaving it in there for half an hour. One of the things I really hate about baking is the fact you got to wait and you got to be patient. I'm not very good at that. But let's just see what comes out and prepare for dinner. As you can see, there's now only 3 of these things because I've gone and eaten one of them. But let's just try and break one open and have a look at the crumb inside and see whether it's properly bready. Break it open. Yep. A cloud of steam comes up. That looks bready. And it looks like quite a good bit of crumb. Maybe it would be worthwhile shoving it on a cooling rack to allow any extra steam and all the rest of it to get off for a while before you eat. But this is probably one of the best homemade gluten-free bread-like products I have tasted. Homemade. It's very nice. I like it. Still a bit doughy, but still very good. Here are the mini pizza rounds, which I've taken the greaseproof paper off so you can see it. It came off perfectly from the greaseproof paper. Nice, solid flat. Still feels a bit soft. I think I'm going to take this one here, break that open, and have a quick look at that and see what that looks like inside. So you can see you yourself can make gluten-free, highly nutritious bread-related products at home with basically minimal ingredients, incredibly low cost, and this can add to your nutritional scores for the day, week, month, or whatever. Just imagine this topped with tomato sauce, salad vegetables, onions, melted cheese, and then slice that up and share it with your nearest and dearest. And there we go. Nice bread pattern there. Still giving off steam. Still a bit damp. But just let that to dry for a little while, and you got yourself a good bread. Tastes good too. So, you know the nutritional breakdown. You know how it's made. I'm recommending a high-speed blender because, you can do more with them. Definitely passes the taste test, and you can be versatile with them. Make them.